All right, we are now streaming live on YouTube. This is Clayton County Magistrate Court preliminary hearing calendar. Today's date is February 23rd, 2026. This is the state of Georgia versus Darrell Moore, and warrants number is 2026 WA 0235 0236 0237 02328 02329 and 02330. All parties are present and have announced ready to proceed. Ms. Thomas, you can present the state's case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you should give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down, state your name for the record.
My name is Officer Jonya Curry.
And officer, how are you employed?
I'm employed with Clayton County Police Department as police officer.
And were you so employed on or about January the 25th of 2026?
I was, yes, ma'am.
And did you have occasion to respond to a 210 Riverview Place?
I did.
And is that within the confines of the city of Jonesboro, Clayton County?
Yes.
And did your investigation at that location involve a Jatero Moore?
Yes.
Could you advise the court as to what happened on that date at that location involving Mr. Moore?
On that date and location, I was dispatched to the location as a backup for Detective Brown. She advised that she was going to 1013 the subject. So when we arrive at the incident.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop you right quick for a second. What does 1013 mean?
1013 is when a person is going to be documented as they have to be hospitalized for mental health issues, mental health illnesses.
Okay. And do you just do that on your own, or how's that kind of procedure? How's that initiated?
Within the agency, we have a division called the crew unit, the crisis response unit. So that consists of Detective Brown and the doctor, Miss Redmond.
And are you all called by the public to respond?
Yes, she called us out for backup.
Who is she?
I'm sorry, Detective Brown.
So Detective Brown and the doctor responded and you all were called for a backup?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would they call you as a backup? And when I say you, I mean law enforcement in general.
Just for restraining, just in case if the subject resists, fight.
And is the 1013 like a court order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you received a call for this location regarding the 1013 we've been talking about. What happened when you got there?
When we got there, Detective Brown and Mr. Reedman, they made contact with Mr. Moore and they were speaking to him. And at that point, Mr. Redmond explained to him that he was going to be 1013 and he will have to come with us, with law enforcement. At that time, he refused. He stated no, that he was not going anywhere with law enforcement, and he walked back into his apartment. Detective Brown followed. I followed behind Detective Brown. There was another officer out there. He followed behind me. Then, as we're telling him to stop, come back outside with us, he makes it into his room. Then I see Detective Brown. She stops abruptly, and I look past her head, and I see Mr. Moore pointing the firearm at Detective Brown. At that time, I flinked to the right, meaning I gained coverage to the right, and drawn out my service weapon. However, I lost sight of the subject at that point once I retreated to cover.
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit. The doctor advises Mr. Moore that he's going to be taken for treatment. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Moore did not want to go.
Correct.
Moore went into a house,
into his apartment.
his apartment. Now, who lives there with Mr. Moore? Does anyone live there with Mr. Moore?
I believe Mr. Moore lives by himself.
Okay. And does the 1013 allow you to go into the apartment with him?
Yes. At that point, once the 1013 is verbally or even handwritten by the doctor, at that point we're able to, is considered involuntary, so we're able to go in and restrain and make contact.
Is that what happened in this case?
Yes. The
And
doctor
the
was
doctor
out.
was there.
Yes.
Okay. So when Detective Brown goes in, is he in his room or is he standing there with the gun?
So he walks in, we was at the threshold of his front apartment door. Then he goes inside his apartment, he makes it into his room, and I didn't see when he picked up the firearm, but he picked up the firearm, turned around, and pointed the firearm at Detective Brown. She stopped, she flanked to the left for coverage, I went to the right for coverage.
Now you have him charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault. Who was the third person that was present?
That is Officer McDaniel.
Where's the doctor at this time?
The doctor stayed in the hallway, in the breezeway outside. He was not inside when
Okay.
the door had closed behind us.
So he's on the other side of the door. The 3 of you are inside of the apartment?
Inside the apartment.
What did Mr. Moore do next, if anything?
It all happened so fast. I recall Detective Brown telling him to put it down, put it down. By the time I drew my service weapon out, I seen he pointed and he quickly raised the firearm, the muzzle of the firearm, up to the air.
Was the weapon discharged?
No, it was not.
When he raised the weapon into the air, what did you all do next, if anything?
We gave him verbal commands, put it down, put it down. Detective Brown, she was the one that was giving the commands. So we allowed her to continue giving him commands, and he complied. He put it down. Then we went and cuffed him. He did not resist, and he was arrested.
Now, was the firearm recovered?
Yes.
And I see you have him charged with theft by receiving stolen property. What was the basis of that?
The serial number of the firearm was ran on GCIC, and then it came back stolen.
Do you recall where it was stolen from?
No, I have no knowledge of that.
Did Mr. Moore advise as to where he got the weapon from?
He said that he purchased it from someone.
He didn't say who?
No.
Were you all in fear for your safety?
I was. We all were. Still to this day, I think about it and it makes my stomach hurt.
How long ago was this? About a month ago? Well, it's a month ago.
Yes.
Almost to the day.
Earlier this year.
Okay. And when he was asked to comply with the 1013, is when he ran back into the apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
Continue to state something about he already have a safety plan.
Are you aware of what he was talking about? Does that sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay. Did Mr. Moore make any additional statements to you all?
No, he just said that he was not coming with us.
Was he eventually restrained?
Yes, he was handcuffed.
And was he taken to the hospital, or where did he end up?
He was taken to, give me a second, I don't recall. Do you mind if I go back to my report?
I can save you some time. Was he taken into custody?
Yes, he was taken into custody.
Okay, that's fine. Now, were you equipped with, first of all, do you know if this was videotaped or recorded in any way?
Yes, body cam. My body cam was on.
Was Detective Brown equipped with body cam?
Yes.
Was hers operating?
From my knowledge, yes.
What about the third officer? Did that officer have body cam?
Yes,
And was that operable?
from my knowledge, yes.
And where is that body cam footage?
It should be stored.
Was that stored with Clayton County Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the interaction that the doctor had initially with Mr. Moore, do you know if that was captured in any type of way?
It should have been captured on my body cam. I was
You,
standing outside with them in the breezeway when the doctor made contact.
so when the doctor advised Mr. Moore what was going on and asked him to comply, your body cam captured that entire interaction?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if there's any other type of video like Ring or anything like that?
Not that I know. Not that I know of.
Okay. Were any of his family members present at the time that all of this was going on, Mr. Moore?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I believe there's, one more question. Officer, the person that you encountered that day, Jatera Moore, do you see them in court today?
Give me a second. My screen is the
You
sun
on
is
a cell phone?
no, I'm on the computer and the sun is like blurring.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Can you identify him by physical appearance or article of clothing?
It looks like he's wearing an orange jumpsuit
Okay.
with a white t-shirt underneath.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I believe that's all the state has reserved right for redirect.
All right, cross-examination.
Good morning, Officer Curry. How you doing today?
I'm well, yourself.
Pretty good. So you were dispatched to a mobile crisis welfare call, correct?
Correct.
And this was not a 911 call reporting a crime?
No,
And no one reported an assault in progress?
no,
There were no threats against officers in progress?
no.
There were no arrest warrants that existed for Mr. Moore that day?
Not an arrest warrant, but a 1013 order.
Was that 1013 order before you arrived at the premises?
I had knowledge, Detective Brown provided knowledge that he was going to be 1013.
And you guys didn't have a search warrant or an arrest warrant before you went to his home?
No, ma'am.
And you first encountered him when he was outside of his home?
Yes, at the threshold of his door.
And he was not armed when you spoke to him?
No.
And he was calm enough to speak with the officers and the doctor?
Yes.
And he answered all questions?
Yes.
And he didn't threaten you or any other officers or doctor on scene?
No, not at the initial contact.
And at that point, there was no emergency requiring immediate entry into the home after the doctor spoke with him?
Not until he walked back into his apartment.
And did you tell him that he was under arrest?
Upon the doctor repeatedly telling him that he was 1013, yes, he was told that he will be coming with us for 1013.
And what was the basis for the 1013?
From I can't really tell you too much because like I said, we were called out there for a backup. Detective Brown, she's part of the crisis response unit, where she deals with people who are mentally ill. So she have more knowledge on that.
And you said Detective
Brown.
Brown. Did Detective Brown speak with Mr. Moore before that day?
I'm not aware. I don't know.
And you said you're not sure what the basis of the 1013 was.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And Mr. Moore, like you said, he was at his home. That was his residential address.
Yes.
And he didn't invite you guys inside?
No. We spoke to him at the door.
Okay. And there was no there was no judge that authorized that entry. I believe you stated that usually with a 1013, there's a warrant or a signed order from a judge, but you guys didn't have that day, correct?
The doctor was there. He was the one that was writing the 1013. So
And was this
Once
Sorry.
the 1013, once the doctor established that the individual is going to be 1013, at that point is they're involuntarily going to be taken in for treatment.
And about how long did it take for Detective Brown to determine that Mr. Moore was going to be 1013?
When I arrived on scene, their mind was already made up that he was going to be 1013 due to previous interaction that they had with him.
So it's your position they already had contact with him before that date, correct?
Yes.
And he was not 1013th at those prior dates?
No.
And do you know why that is?
No.
And you told me, well, you stated that when you went inside the home, you were unable to see what happened when he went inside his room because that's where Detective Brown was.
We did not go inside his room. He went inside his room and pulled the firearm. We was stopped at the threshold of his bedroom door. She stopped, then I looked past her head and I seen him pointing the firearm. And when she said put it down, he raised the muzzle of the firearm up.
And you said he pointed that gun in the air?
He pointed at Detective Brown. When she said put it down, he raised the muzzle in the air. And by that time, I flanked to the right and I lost visual of Mr. Moore.
Okay, and was this firearm, was this pointed at any other detectives that were there? Was it pointed at you at all?
It was in the line. I was in the line of him pointing the firearm.
And what about, I believe it was, you said Officer Daniels?
Yes.
So when you were in the line of sight and you lost visual of him, where was Detective Brown?
Detective Brown, she flanked to the left. She gained cover to the left, but she was closer to him at the threshold of his bedroom door. I went to the right. Um, it's a narrow hallway. It looks like the closet door was open, so I was not able to no longer see him from his bedroom. And Officer McDaniel was pretty much left open.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a visual here. So if you're at the doorway, Detective Brown is in front of you and Officer Daniels is side by side or behind you?
He's behind me. We walked in. When we walked in, it was pretty much in a straight line. Detective Brown, myself, and Officer McDaniel.
Okay. And at any point, did Mr. Moore threaten you or any other persons on the scene?
I didn't hear what he said. I just hear off Detective Brown telling him put it down, put it down. You could kind of say I possibly tunnel vision. I didn't hear what was going on. I just seen the firearm and that fear came in.
Did Mr. Moore know that you were in his home at that time? When he went to his bedroom, did he notice that you followed him?
Yes,
And how did he know that?
because I recall him saying, "Do not follow me."
Okay. And you stated that after verbal command, he did lower the firearm?
According to Detective Brown, she said he tossed it, I believe, on the bed. I think the bed was close to the door. He tossed it on the bed and we moved in and handcuffed him.
So were you there? Did you see him pull out the gun? Do you know where he pulled it out from?
I don't know exactly where he pulled it out from. He walked in there so fast and his back was turned towards us, then he turned around and the firearm was in his hand.
And was there any physical struggle at all?
No,
Could this have simply been that he's putting his firearm on the bed and was not aware that officers were behind him?
no.
And how can you be sure?
Because he did not have the firearm in his hand while he was speaking with us at the threshold of his door. He turned away from us and walked into his room. The firearm was not in his hand. He turned around, he reached for something to the right on his right side and turned around and the firearm was in his right hand.
And you stated that he pointed that solely in the air.
No, he pointed at Detective Brown. He pointed at us. Detective Brown was first. Then I seen her stop, telling him to put it down. I looked past her head and I seen the firearm, the muzzle of the firearm, and then he pointed up in the air.
Now, was Detective Brown firearm already pulled out before my client, Mr. Moore, had his firearm?
No, Mr. Moore had his firearm out first.
And you stated that you had an NCIC check and said that the gun was stolen, and you don't know where that report is from?
I don't recall where it was stolen out of.
Do you know when the stolen date occurred?
I don't recall that, ma'am.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any follow-up, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor. Ask just one question. Officer, you said something, defense was asking you about the way you all were positioned. I believe, was it in the front door or coming into the front door when Mr. Moore went to his back door? You mentioned something about in the line of, were you talking about in the line of sight or the line of fire or both?
In the line of sight, both.
You say in the line of sight, both?
Yes, line of sight, line of fire.
So he could have hit any of you or all of you
He could have, yes.
because of the way you were positioned in that door.
Correct.
Okay, and that's all I have.
All right, Attorney Fisher, any follow-up based on her questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any other evidence or witnesses on behalf of the state?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Any evidence on behalf of the defendant or any witnesses?
Not at this time.
All right, closing remarks?
I'll reserve, Your Honor.
All right, Attorney Fisher?
Your Honor, we just asked for the felony obstruction charge to be dismissed. Mr. Moore was lawfully in his home with his firearm, and officers were not allowed to be there. He did not give consent. Is my client's position. He did not know they were there. He was simply putting his firearm on his bed. He did not point the firearm as my client's position. There were no officers in safety of their life. There were 3 officers versus my one client who was there. He was in his bedroom. He was not outside the breezeway. He was not in the hallway. And he had no intent to have any fear. It's also my position, if the court deems what the state's evidence says is true, that the 2 other aggravated assaults should be dismissed because there's no probable cause, since he did not directly at any time point the firearm at the 2 other officers on scene.
All right, 88 Thomas?
Your Honor, all 3 officers were at risk in this particular scenario. And just starting at the beginning, this gentleman was perfectly aware of what was going on as best as he could be because the doctor came first. Something the officer mentioned in the beginning when she was explaining how the 1013 procedure works as far as they are concerned. They are summoned there to the scene by the doctor and the detective who are actually on the 1013 team just as backup in case something like this happens. In this particular case, when they got there, the doctor advised Mr. Moore that a 1013 order was in effect and that he was going to be transported to a treatment facility. Mr. Moore said he wasn't going. He went into his apartment. I believe the officer mentioned this happened so fast. And it sounds like it did because he immediately went in his apartment, ran to get his gun, which is in his bedroom. Defense counsel says that they did not have authority to be there, where actually they did. That's what the 1013 is for. That's why officers are called as backup. I asked the officer where was the doctor. The doctor remained outside in the breezeway waiting for the officers to do their job, which is to retrieve Mr. Moore and take him to treatment. In this particular case, Mr. Moore elected to get a firearm, point that firearm at the officers, putting all 3 of their lives in danger before he eventually complied with Detective Brown, and she was able to get him to lower the weapon. At this particular time, Your Honor, state believes that more than sufficient probable cause has been presented, including the officer's testimony that upon a check of the weapon that Mr. Moore had, it was discovered that the weapon was in fact stolen. State would ask that all counts, the that are pending against Mr. Moore be bound over to the Superior Court.
All right, the court, after hearing testimony from Officer Curry, does find sufficient probable cause for all of the charges, so they would be bound over to Superior Court for further prosecution. And from my understanding from the notes in this calendar, that this case is on for a bond hearing on this Friday at 8:30 a.m. to be for consideration. If there's nothing else, this matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.